Hey guys, it's Jonah. Jonah's Lab. Um, this is gonna be my first real video that I'm actually doing. Um, just recently, before this, I had made the intro video for the channel, like the headline video that's supposed to be on the homepage for when new people check out the channel. Uh, it was nothing special, no editing, nothing whatsoever. It was literally just me making the channel. You can check that out whenever you want. It's called Birth, Birth of the channel. So might as well call it that. The goal of this channel is for me to share my passion for trying to improve at doing things. Specifically, I'm making it a goal this summer. So if you don't, for context, I just finished my first year of college. I would say it was a lot more work than I expected, given where I started with things. A little bit more than what most freshmen would probably experience. So rolling into this summer has been one of the most relieving things for me. But at the same time, I want to work on improving myself with certain things and taking advantage of the time I have to do what I want and really showcase stuff that I'd like to do. And so, for me, I have a big passion for doing different kinds of programming projects and ideas. One of the things that makes me so happy about programming is that all you need is a computer, an internet connection, and a language of your choice or something, and you can make whatever you want. For the longest of time, I originally I'd wanted to do something with engineering or something with I always wanted to make stuff, and really it didn't come to fruition until I realized with programming how versatile it is for what the ideas I have and what I want to do. And it's just beautiful to see how it's worked so far and how I've been able to create things that do stuff for me that, exactly the way I intend to do, and it helps affect other people. And so part of helping other people, I feel like making this channel where I can show you my thought process and the way I do things, even if it may not be useful to some people. It may not be their type of workflow, or something else. Maybe this channel gets a lot of views, maybe it gets zero, but for me it's a way of holding myself accountable to to feel like I'm doing something where I'm contributing and showing knowledge growth through these works that I like to do. And so through this summer I want to make time to do more of these kind of projects that I'm going to do. And this channel really is anything. Lots of YouTube channels try and make stuff themed around a singular thing, and maybe that's how this ends up. But for me, it's just me filming stuff about myself and what I'd like to do, and hopefully helping others through things, and maybe inspiring and helping to, I don't know, just make somebody's day better. That's what it's about, being positive and trying to help others. So yeah. If you can see on my screen right now, I kind of have this video limit length thing, and originally the plan was to live stream what I'm doing right now, but as you can see, when I just made the channel, I have to wait about 24 hours for me to gain permission in order to stream. And so I don't really want to wait 24 hours. I want to work, I want to do some fun stuff. So the goal is that to hopefully make this video, and I want it to be more than 15 minutes. So it says here I can verify it, my Google account, if I upload the longer than 15-minute video on the YouTube mobile app. So I guess that's what I'm gonna have to do to get this to go, or this video will be posted later. We'll see. But I wanted to work tonight regardless, so that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, let's get on with it. So I have done zero planning for what I'm about to do, and it's just going to be off the top of my head, and you're going to see as we go. I'm going to plan it out and figure out what works and what doesn't work, and we'll have the internet on our side to help us with whatever questions we have. So really the only thing I had going into this was the idea, but I have nothing else planned out about it. I have a general gist of how I think I might want to do this now that I'm thinking about it, but the original intent is I want to make a weather program, and that's a very vague title, but this weather program, the idea of it is it's going to be a very simplistic interface that allows for anybody to sign up for severe weather alerts. And so a little bit of context. I've always been a little bit into tracking the weather and stuff, and when I was younger, and I like to experiment with those kind of different systems and looking at how the weather's tracked and whatnot. And I don't know, it's just kind of cool. And recently in the news, if I can pull it up, let's see, severe weather news. Yeah, you can see here that 50 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 2 days ago even, pretty much like all throughout like the last few weeks, I guess you could say, there's been some pretty bad weather going on. And I don't know what the situation is with most people when they first when they encounter severe weather, as in like what's their first like source of information. Like it's really different everywhere. Some people, they listen to the weather guy on the news, and that's like where they get everything about it. Some people have the alerts that go out on their phones and whatnot. I don't know. And others just have other ways of doing it, or some people don't even know. And I just feel that one thing that's really important is to have some sort of way of helping people know that they're in severe weather that's going to actually affect them. And so, what I mean by that is, a lot of times people see tornado warning issued, tornado warning or whatever, or severe thunderstorm warning, but they don't know if it's actually heading towards them. A lot of times an alert is issued at some point, and it just becomes a blanket statement for anybody in that state, and lots of confusion spurs and whatnot. And so I want to try and make something that allows someone to actually know if there's weather affecting them in their area, and based on an alert. And so what I want to make is something that will send text alerts or email alerts. I don't know between the two. Either sends email alerts or text alerts. Now the reason why I say or here is that from my past experience knowing about email services and whatnot, those are easier to work with than text alerts. However, I feel like text alerts are much more convenient for alerting people about stuff, so that would be the preferable option. But if technicalities come in where it's really difficult to make this practical, and I'm not trying to really spend any money on this project, it's just more for fun and the concept idea. So emails might have to be the way to go. But yeah, so it would send the alerts, and we're talking severe weather. So that includes like thunderstorms, tornadoes. I guess if you have your winter events too, blizzards. Yeah, I mean, or I guess hurricanes and whatnot. But the list goes on. I don't want it to be too extensive because I think that there are certain main things that we can focus on for this, and it can be expanded upon later. But yeah, it would send them. So the user basically would want to be able to enter their number or email. We're gonna figure that out, and then we also want them to be able to put in their location. Now, location is an interesting situation here. So when we're talking about location, one thing that we have to consider is that if we're asking for their general location, like we want like what city they reside in or whatnot, that could be useful. But severe weather can strike anywhere, anytime, and I feel as though they could put their a location in for one place, but then it ends up being that they spend time in another place, and during some point in the day, like let's say you reside in such town but you work in another, maybe then there's a crisscross there, so we don't know if where they could be. So maybe it's easy enough just to ask them for their state, and then I'm thinking there could be a way of making sure that they're not in the area for which the alert is in. So what that might entail is, like, let's say that there's like a thunderstorm warning and it goes out to you know, it's in like Oklahoma or something, and you know, it sends the alert to everybody who's registered for that state, but instead of saying that you're in that area, it could instead maybe be something like, oh, there's been a thunderstorm warning issued in the state. You know, maybe you're in the affected area. Click here to see if you are, and then that takes them to a page that checks their location and verifies that they're in the area or not. I think that might be an interesting way to approach it. You know, and this is me digressing, but you know, when I'm going through these ideas and stuff on the channel, you know, maybe there's something that's more, you know, efficient or practical that someone figures out, but you know, for me, I'm just doing what comes to my mind, and maybe I figure that out later, but this is just the thought process, you know, me going through the steps of you know, how I'm trying to do this. So that's something to point out, but yeah, so I think we can get started here, building out the sign-up system. So let's do that, but we need to figure out like what kind of framework we want to do here. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe we should use Python, just because Python's cool, and we should use Flask. So let's do that. So let's okay, we need to create a new folder. Let's do that. Here, let's just save this here. Whoops. All right, we're gonna put this in documents here, and let's create a folder called weather alert, and we could probably just open this with VS Code, honestly. Yeah, that's good. All right. Yes, I am the author. I trust. Okay. So, all right, we'll cancel that. We're not gonna save that. So let's start with a main.py function, or sorry, file. I'm being silly. It is about 10 p.m. here, so I guess that warrants me feeling weird, but all right. Anyway, okay, we need to import what we need for Flask. It's been a while since I've done a Flask project here, so I'm going to open some reference documents on this side here. All right. I just don't remember. You know, funny story is that I was working at one of my internships one year, and the my mentor said that he would be lying if he said that his job wasn't 60% of just searching things, you know, to make stuff. So, you know, use the internet. It will help you so much. Or don't be afraid to use the internet. Like, obviously, you want to try and learn stuff, but this is how you learn through referencing documentations and stuff. And I'm not finding anything for this. All right, let's see. There we go. All right. Well, yeah, obviously from Flask import Flask. Okay, let me move this out of the way here. All right. We're gonna make our app equal Flask name. Yeah. Okay. And then, oh yeah, we need to make our app. I'm gonna call this index. Alright, and then we're gonna be returning web pages, but for now, let's just make sure this works. So we're gonna say home. Okay. And then, let's see here. We need the, what is the, doesn't have the thing for the I think you do it if hold on a second. Let's see. Flask application. Alright. There we go. If name underscore name underscore equals main underscore main. Okay. We want to run the app, it says. Yes. Okay, and then I believe there's some other things we can do here. There's parameters, if I recall. So we have debug, we'll say is true. And then I think we also have host. Yeah. So we're going to put this on, I don't know, we'll make something up. 8080. I'm pretty sure that's what they want you to use. use usually? Educated guess. They use 5,000. We'll leave it at this. Hopefully it's not running 8080 on this computer right now, because for context, this address here, or port, if it's used by something else on the network, it's not going to run. So, and this is a very common port. So I think it should work though. Let's run the server. Oh yeah, it's doing something. Get address info failed. I think we're forgetting something perhaps. What? Get address info failed. What if I just didn't do that for now? Alright. Okay, well that seemed to not be as much of a problem. We can put debug true. I'm being silly, but you know, it's fine. We're making things work here. Alright, so then let's do a little split screen action here. See if Windows 11 can be kind of cool. Alright. So let me close that. Let's open this. It should say home. Perfect. Alright, there you go. So now we have the page open. So let's make the templates. So in Flask, you have to use template. You have to make a folder in order to store HTML pages that you want. So we're going to place them in here, and then we'll make a static folder too, in case. Or no, we don't want it out there. We'll make a static here, static folder for any sort of static elements that we want to include. Yeah. All right. Let's call this home. And yeah, that should update eventually, I guess. Let's clear this and make sure debug mode's on. It doesn't say different. Oh no, I'm silly. Okay. So then we also want to import render template, and this is what we'll use to actually render the HTML. That's what I was forgetting. So we'll put an index.html, and just to distinguish the difference here, we will put a header and we'll just say home page, and save that, and it should update. Oh, silly me. Return. You know, at this hour I'm very good at making no mistakes. Alright, so okay, we have our home page up now. So the idea for this page, it's just gonna be a simple like sign up kind of thing. So what I'm thinking we do is we'll make a form. We want its method to be post, obviously, and we will make a let's do a input text, and we'll call it number. So yeah, I guess for now what we'll do is we'll stick with entering phone numbers, just because that should be fine. And that's what we'll do. And then we also want to put, like I said earlier, I was thinking that we just make it so we do our state as what the person puts in. So I'm thinking we'll have a fixed drop down. I think that's select, is it? Shoot, I don't remember what it's called. Is it? I know it's a drop down, but I don't know what they HTML drop down. I don't remember what. Oh, select. Yeah, it was a select. Okay. Whoopsies. All right, and we'll call this states, and then we'll put an option to do. Whoops. Then we'll have each state, so it'll be as such. And this is going to be kind of annoying to enter each state. I wonder if maybe they have option drop down 50 states. Like maybe it already exists, so I don't have to do it. Beautiful. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So we just saved ourselves like a whole crap ton of time from doing that. Okay, so that's there. So let's just see, just to get our bearings here. Oh, Why is it's not in the, silly. Alright, we had 2 select tags. Okay, restart. Perfect. That was simple, not too hard. I mean, it's just basic HTML. Alright, do a page break here, just so it's like that. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. We're not gonna worry about style for now. It's kind of gonna nag me for a bit, but you know what? We're just getting the functionality going right now. States. So we've done that, and then we need a submit button for this form. So we're gonna do a input submit, and value, I believe, is just what corresponds to what the thing says. Yeah, so we'll say submit. Yep. Okay. Method not allowed. We know why that is, or I'll explain why in a second. Okay. You know, I don't want that page break right now. I know I'm obsessing over nothing, but yeah. So the reason why it didn't work like that is because we haven't set the parameters for what this page does. So in Flask, you have an app route, and this is what routes it for like the page. So this page here, so like this URL, the slash, that what this does is it runs this function here. So it's like in Python, like, or in any language, when you call a function, you know, like that, it's gonna run. Well, that's what the app route does for the URL. So it'll run the function based off that. At least that's how I think of it. I mean, maybe there's another way to put it, but yeah. So in this route, we need to specify what methods are allowed. So we're gonna say get is allowed and post is allowed. Post is what we use to send stuff. So when we do this here, look, there's no error. You can see here in the terminal, it shows the posts. So we know that's working now. So what we need to do now is capture the data so the person sends in. Also, just for usefulness sake, I'm going to put a placeholder here, and I'm gonna, what happened here? Oh, I just replaced that whole thing. Okay. Placeholder, we're gonna say it's phone number, like such. There you go. And we'll do some more later. But yeah, that should be the last of having to modify that form. I mean, we'll put some styling later. You'll see. So we'll say if, because what we need to, okay, so now we have to import requests, I believe, or request at least. Yeah, request is a different thing, which we will actually end up using later, I think, for this. If I think about it, yeah, we will. So if we say if request dot method is equal to post, so this is on the page load, because remember, when this submit happens, it's going to send something, and it's going to read run this function. So you know, when we first load it, there is no post, but it will still return, because you have to have a return at the end of these functions for the page to load, otherwise it will glitch. So if I just put this in here, then we have an error. Yeah, because we never posted anything, but if we're trying to access it in the first place, well, there is nothing to access because we never posted, but we can't since we don't have the page. So what did I do? Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, is that I did get rid of it. Now, come on, what? I'm being silly doing this random demonstration. Okay, well, guess we have to put something here. Hi, alright. Me being silly. Okay, so, yeah, we need to have it return every time. So what we're going to do here is, so when the person posts, this block's going to execute, and what's going to happen is we need to fetch the fields. So we're going to say that phone number is equal to, I believe it's request.form, and I think we can just do this, and we specify the name associated with the input. So we have number here, so we're gonna put that in, and then we're gonna do state request.form state. Okay. So we've done that. So now let's see if it works. What we're going to do is we're going to say print number stir phone number. Let's put a space there, and then we'll do print I cannot type right now. All right, print state, and this is going to be stir state. And what should happen now when we refresh, we'll put in some just random string of numbers. It really doesn't matter. We'll just submit Alabama. Oh crap, what did I do? Key error state. Did I not? Oh, states. I am so silly. Alright. The more you know. Alright. There you go. So you see we have our number here, the phone number, and the associated state. So we've done that. Okay, perfect. So now we know that we fetched our data from the user here. What we want to do next is store that somewhere. Okay. Now most people, think, oh, database, or maybe you're not thinking database. Then cool. What I'm going to do is we're going to use pandas, and I'm going to store this to a simple spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet will store the information, and that's how we're going to do it. So, because it's a lot simpler. We don't need a database for this. This is a very basic application anyway. So, it's enough just to have a spreadsheet that it goes through and collect the data. So in order to do this, okay, we gotta do some pandas here. So, all right. What we'll do now is we're gonna write a separate function for this, just to keep things, contained and isolated and packaged. Let me take a quick water break. All right. So we need to contain the data somewhere, but first we should make sure there's no duplicates. So, someone might think, oh, well, phone numbers and stuff, then we want to verify that the authenticity and stuff. And for this, there's a way to do that, but I'm not going to do that in this, project, just because I'm not scaling this to a big thing. But what we'll do here is we'll make something called register. I cannot spell. Okay, register, and it's going to take in two parameters here. It's going to be phone number, or I don't want to use duplicate variables, so we'll just call it number, and residing. Nah, we'll just call it state. Let's just do that. I'm being too crazy. Okay. What? Oh, once again, I did not do anything. Okay, return blah blah blah. Okay, and so for this, I'm thinking, first thing I want to do is make sure that we don't get duplicate entries. So I want to check for duplicate entries. So what we'll do is, first we need to open the pandas. So I totally need to go over the pandas syntax. I forgot. So pandas Python. So let's take a look at some of this here. Panda W3 Schools is very nice. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna make a file, and we'll just call it users.csv, and we're not gonna collect names or anything. We just need number and state. I'm not trying to make this as personalized as possible. So what we'll do is, okay, so we have to create the data frame as it says. So we'll make our we'll call it df. Why not? I want to be a little different, but it doesn't matter. Okay. And we'll call it users.csv read. Perfect. And then what we need to do is traverse through it and compare what's in it. So I believe, all right, read CSV, yes. I believe it's called ilock. Let's see. Pandas traverse rows. Iterate over data frame. Okay, we'll make two columns as well. So we'll do phone. We'll just call this number and state. Okay. Iterate through each row and selectively go through the things. So I don't like that one as much. Iterate through each row and select name and age column respectively. Those are both pretty much the same here. There's one called iLock. Yes, the iLock one. Here we go. Iterate through each row and select 0th and 2nd index column respectively. Or iterows. That is it. That's what I want to use. Yep. Perfect. So for, don't know why they put index. Okay, so for row in data frame dot iter. What we want to do is, so we've made our columns here, so we're going to say that if we're going to say if the row number equals, what we'll do is, because I'm thinking about how I want to selectively choose what should be allowed and what isn't allowed. I mean, it's very basic, but we'll say that you can have the same number multiple times for different states. So if you want to be registered for different states, that's fine. Otherwise, we will not make another entry. So if the row number equals the number that the person wants to sign up with, we will simply just return yeah, we can just return, because we won't even do it. Maybe we'll put in something later that just, kind of, we could probably return the render template of the index again, but we'll pass in some parameters that time. And I don't really want to do that quite yet. Okay, for now we will just return. We will decide later. If not, though, so if we get through this entire loop and nothing matches, then based on this parameter, then or this condition, I'd rather say, what we'll do is make the entry. So let's see how to do that again. I believe we have to make a data frame. Yes. Okay. We load it into the thing as such. Okay, and we could probably save it there. So how do you save .csv? You can read pandas save to CSV. .to CSV, and then you save the file. Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we will make a data set here, like a little thing. So we'll call it data, or we'll say new entry, and we'll do this. And there are two things we have. So we have to put the columns in that we're using. So we're going to put number. Whoops. It's going to be number, and then state. Okay, and that shouldn't be a problem. And then we need to create a data frame. So new entry data frame. We will call pd.dataframe new entry, and then it looks as though where was it? Yes, we call this thing, or saving the, no, we want to put this. Okay, so new entry df.to csv, and we put user, whoopsies. Okay. We don't want to return. We don't need to return anything. Just let it go to the website. Okay. So what we'll do now is call the function in here. So register, and we'll put phone number and state as such. So we can go ahead and test this, I believe. So go here and do this, and oh yeah, great. If using scalar values, you must pass index. You must pass an index. Maybe if I just made this a string, would maybe things be better? Perhaps. Do we even get anything? No, it didn't get. Alright. That might not have fixed it. Yeah, okay. You must pass an index. If using all scalar values, you must. Okay, I'm gonna try something here. I'm going to open one of my other projects here, and I'm gonna check something real quick. Yeah, you'll probably see a lot of errors throughout when I work on stuff, but you know what? That's normal. It's good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going for one of my older projects just to check what it probably is. And I think I know what I did wrong here. Okay. Now we have a new problem. Okay. Bad file descriptor. Unauthorized change. I wonder if that was related. Nah, probably not. Index equals false. We'll add that. Okay. Let's double check. Is it related to this? It can't be. Alright, so unauthorized change, it does that every time. We might want to make it so it doesn't do that. Allow. I don't think that's it. I would be very surprised if it was though. Oh, well, perhaps it was. And look at that. What do you know? Sometimes, you know, random crap happens and you don't know why, and it's because Windows sucks. You know, I was thinking about this for a while, but I was like, you know, maybe I should switch to Linux, you know. Maybe you probably don't have to deal with all this crap. I find that Windows is very bloated. I have a Mac as well. It's slightly better. It's a little, it's more Unix based, or I guess it is. I don't know if I'm correct on that, but so I like it a lot more than this. But hey, we're using this now, so there we go. All right, so yeah, as you can see here, we've gotten the number and we've gotten the state. So I'm thinking that I can put this back because that was not even the problem. So if we put this again, okay, well, yes, it didn't add it, but we got an error, and I'm going to say that we should probably just do this. We return the home page. I don't think we'd have a problem then. We still did. Tuple indices must be integers or slices, not the other way. Okay, well. Oh, yes. You're supposed to do that because it doesn't. It does the index, the other thing instead. Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, one of the things, if you don't go to the first thing, it's going to, I think instead it calls the what's it called? It just does the. It may not even work if we don't do that. Let's see, number. I think it just breaks then. Yeah. No, hold on. I'm trying something here. No? What did it print though? Oh shit, I just added that's, oh, here we go, we have a new problem. So the new problem is that it's replacing it every time. So what we have to do is make it, did we ever actually put this into the thing? No, we did, yeah. Okay, I need to figure out how to add this stuff without getting rid of it. I totally don't remember. We did the read CSV, new entry. Figured it out. Okay, so we were making a new data frame and then ended up just adding it. Actually, we want the data frame, but we're skipping a step here. What we need to do instead is, because at the end of the day, we are calling the original data frame. I think that's what we want to use, yes. So data frame, so there's a concatenation function that we're going to use. I think that's what we should use, yeah, okay. So we pass in the data frame, and then we concat it to the new entry data frame. It says ignore index. We're going to do that. So we'll say that's true. And then df to CSV. So that way it should add when we want it to. Bam. Okay, and then yeah, we'll do another one. Yay! All right, it worked. And then if we do this again, it shouldn't go. And that's where it breaks. Oh yes. That is because this doesn't work, and I was trying to show something earlier, but it doesn't matter now. Yeah. Big thing to know is that you want to start there. Otherwise, it's not going to actually. You're not referencing anything actually when you're trying to call this column. Okay, so we've gotten to that point, and now we have the data stored here. So then let's say we want to make a function now to, actually, check and upkeep and notify. Like, this is going to be the actual, like, weather alert program part. This is just a front for the person to put in their data. So, let's see. What I think we should do is we'll make a separate file for this, just because it's going to have its own logistics, and either way it's still going to access what's in here, so it's okay. So we're going to call it, I feel like we should have a creative name for this. Let's call it weatherhawk.py. Okay, and we're going to import requests because, oh my god, we're going to import requests. We don't even have to run the server now, but it's okay. We're going to import requests so that we can process stuff. We're going to import time. You'll see why. I'm thinking that might be useful. Let's think about this. What else do we want? Okay. So we need to take a break here and think about how we want to make this function. So I'm going to open the iPad here. Let's see if we can try something with OBS right now. Okay, you should be able to see a screen now that is blank. We're going to write some stuff on it. So when we're making this function here, the idea is that in some area, oh my gosh, are you going to tell me that my pen's not going to want to work? Wow, ain't that something? Or what if I just do that? And then, okay, so, sometimes that just works. Okay, so let's make a little space here. We're going to call this folder, and within this folder, we're going to we have our several things, right? We have our, main py, users, CSV. We have our templates folder, and we have our static and such forth, and main.py, and we'll just call it weatheralert.py. So we're strictly talking about this function now, or this file. So the idea I'm thinking is you know, so we have our main, server showing to get people to put their information, and then in this file here, the wa.weatheralert.py, what I want it to do is it's going to frequently ask for information from users.csv. And what I mean by ask is, it's going to constantly check CSV, and so that we're talking like traversal and stuff. So traverse each hold on, I'm thinking about this now. So what on the basic thing, I wanted to traverse each entry, and by entry, what I mean is to check the states. Now, this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting situation because we have, all these people that are going to have their entries. There's going to be like, Oklahoma maybe, and then New York, or Alaska, Arizona, California, Florida again. Like, so we'll have all these different, duplicate entries or whatnot. But the thing is, I don't want, because the whole idea is that, this function, I want it to check for alerts and then send them out. And so one might think, well, why don't you just go through each person that's signed up and only check for their state, right? But, it wouldn't make sense to do duplicate checks when you could just uniquely check each one, right? So I'm thinking that instead of going through each entry, it's like, oh, well, we're serving, X many people, and these are what the states are, so let's just check those, right? But what if you have like millions of people running in this thing? I'm not saying that that's what this will come to, but it might be more advantageous just to check the 50 states and then look through the ones that like if that state has an alert for it and that person just happens to be in that state, then send the alert. And then the other thing is that we don't want repeats sent. So what I mean by repeats is, so here, let's first recap what we want. So we want the function to be able to check the 50 states. That was a bad 5, but hey, okay, you get it. Check the 50 states. We don't want repeat alerts. So what I mean by that is we don't want, because we want it to check every so often that we're staying up to date really quickly about what we're trying to we're trying to stay up to date frequently so that we can send the alert out as soon as it becomes available. But we don't want it to go through it again and be like, oh, well, there is an alert, right? But no, we need to distinguish new ones and old ones. So what we're going to have to do is be able to look at that, and so that's going to take looking at the actual data involved. So we don't want repeats. So then we want to send the alert, and what we'll do is every so often we'll check the 50 states, and then after doing that check and updating all the things to show what the alerts are for each state, or if there are any that are severe, then go through the list here and send to all corresponding people. And from that end, when the user, so like think of this, so this whole thing here is like our side, like the work side, and then, or our side, I'm being silly, and then this is where we check the clients here, and then this is what the clients see. So we'll show the client side. And what this envisions is there'll be some sort of message. So we'll send the message. So that's the other thing. We're gonna have to write a function that sends the message. I have previous code that kind of does that kind of thing. So we'll adapt from that. So yeah. So just imagine there's an intermediate thing, and it's a send message. And then yeah, on the client side here, what we want is some sort of message. So it's like, you know, alert, and then like, I don't know, subject, and then we have like a body, and then at the end I want to have a link, and this link is going to be a page that we built out earlier, and this link is going to check. So it's going to be like https da 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 da. It's going to check. When you click it, it's going to have payload parameters, and it's going to check if the person is in the clear or not. So checks if person is really at risk, whoops, or danger. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of a mess what I wrote here, but it's a general idea. I'm gonna take a quick water break here. And yeah, so we're gonna try and make something like that. Okay, so we're gonna do this one step at a time. So now the question begs, where do we get the data? Well, I'm going to try and look at a trusty friend here that I've used once before, looking at some of their stuff. Never actually implemented it, but I would like to see if they have something that could be of use to us. So we're going to look at WeatherGov API. Let's see what they have here. API service. Let me close this here. Okay, the API service. All right. Pricing, open free data. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. I know there's other things like open weather and stuff, but this is free and it's from the government, so it's got to be pretty up to date and well maintained. So I'm gonna make use of it. So let's see. We can get forecasts and we can get alerts. Okay, this is good. So I imagine this is what we'll use to actually look for alerts here. That's gonna be it. Okay. So let's see here. Do they have document? Please review for important details about filter alerts according to county or zone. Geolocation guide. Let's see here. Purpose of this dot is to describe how the NWS uses two different methodologies to geolocate watch, warning, advisory products. As a result, there's potential for user query to miss some or all alerts. The methodologies used are geolocation zones or by the county. This is done to differentiate between small scale and large scale zoned events. Okay, county-based products primarily. Okay, tornado. Okay, so this is kind of grounds for things that we might want to specialize in looking for alerts with. At least for now. This can be expanded further, but let's see. Okay, just briefly surveying what we have here. Okay, for these alerts, responses received endpoints will contain a geometry property which captures the boundaries of these alerts in the form of a polygon. Example. Oh, so we get a polygon. All right. So, okay, this is very important because this could be our way of actually discerning whether somebody's in imminent threat for whatever said event is. And so what I mean by that is we can get their latitude and longitude, and then let's see, it's a polygon. Let's go back to the iPad and try and visualize some of this stuff here. Whoa. So they said a polygon. All right, well, let's draw a polygon. I believe the definition of a polygon is a shape of many sides. Yes, polygon. Plane figure with at least 3 straight sides and angles, typically 5 or more. At least 3 though. Okay, so we're talking triangles, anything. Okay, yeah. Just making sure. I know, not that difficult. Okay. So, I don't know. Let's just say we have like some sort of blob here. I said it could be anything really. So, let's just say that that's an alert zone, okay? And there can be many different points. So, whoops. So, yeah. So the idea I guess we could have here is, this is the polygon for the alert area, and then, it gives us the actual points that make it up. So we have to write that should be 1 point as its own. Oh my god. So, yeah, it looks like crap, but it's okay. All right. So yeah, these would be the corresponding points that we saw back in the document here. So if I go back briefly, you can see these represent the outlying point, the points that make up the polygon. So what I'd like to do then is we'll write a function, and the function will say, okay, well we have user data says this location, and that will be part of the thing we design later, but we're not going to worry about that now. And then we'll say, okay, this will check to see if the point lies here or here or here or here or here, right? Anywhere. If it's anywhere inside of the polygon, then we want to indicate to user that they should take action or seek shelter, etc. That's what they should do. So that's going to be our way of determining what they should do and where they should go and whatnot. So as it stands right now, if we look at the big picture here, going back to all of this, we're getting an idea here about that kind of stuff, but I don't quite want to work on that yet, because first we need to actually devise this. What this addresses here is figuring out how to do this end, and we need to start by first checking the states, devising a system to check all the states. So we're going to do that. Okay, so if you want to check all the states here, let's make a function def check states. Okay. Another thing I'm thinking about is, okay, do we want to, so I'm thinking we make a global, not global, but in the context of this entire file, something that stores all of the, here, let me get this so the camera can see. I want it to store so that overall it can be accessed by everything. So we're going to make this called state status. Okay, and it'll be like an array, and then we'll append dictionaries to it. So we'll check the states. So what we're going to do here is, first, let's get the data. So we're gonna make the alright, let's see if we can find a Python array of 50 states. Abbreviated. Whoops. Because I don't want to go through all that. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, I don't know why they did the other ones, but it's fine. Yeah, so this is just going to make our lives easier so that we can go through each of the states. There is another way we could do this too, but I don't know if it's worth it, because I'm thinking about this now, is that yeah, we're gonna go through all the states, but maybe some of them aren't even like for the alert area that all of our all the users are in. So as in like, you know, we have people that aren't in New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Nevada, but we could probably pull all the states from the list and then make them distinct and then just go through those. And that might be more efficient if we do what we only have to do. So I think I'm going to do that instead. Okay. So the way that's going to happen is we're going to call it def get unique. So if you understand what I'm saying now is that I said earlier that we could go through all the states, but then I'm thinking that it's probably more efficient if we just do the ones we have, but then we just have to do distinct entries. That's probably the way I should have gone from it with the start. Maybe you disagree, but that might be more advantageous. Then we're saving resource time because these requests aren't going to be like very quick. I mean, let's just try it out. So yeah, reasonably quick, but okay, yeah, well, I guess it doesn't matter entirely, but I guess it would only make sense to really spend the time to go through the ones that are actually like people that they're actually using, like what the people actually have. So I'm thinking that might be it. So is there a Python get distinct values from a list? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. Okay. Or we could just go through all 50 still. I'm a little conflicted now because part of me is thinking, well, I'm going to waste all this. I mean, it's not that much time, but I'm going to waste time making a function just to check all the users again, and we're already going to do that when we go to send the stuff. So maybe it's just good to have all the states loaded anyway. I think we'll just do it that way. All right, forget it. It's not a big deal. I might be overthinking this a bit. All right. Well, it looks like Oklahoma's got some stuff going on. Let's see what's going on there. This is just a good way to get a sense of what data I'm looking at. Oh, that's Kansas. Holy crap, I'm stupid. All right. Tornado warning. What do you know? So there's stuff going on now. All right. So we're gonna make a list called state status, like I had before, and let's go back and get that array that we wanted. We'll keep that for now open. Check states. This will be unique to this scope here. Okay. And then what we want to do is fetch. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do for loop, and we're going to say for state. We'll call this states because it's easier. It looks cooler than for state, or it's easy. It's more readable. States. For states and states. We'll make a URL parameter here, and we will make this copied here, and we will make this like such, and we'll plop down the variable for the state like that, and we have that. So now we want to do the request equals requests dot get, and we're going to specify the URL of intention, and we're going to have a response equals request dot JSON, and it's going to go through all the states if we just run this now. And what I'm afraid of is, because of how quickly it's going to do it, we might get timed out. So I'm going to put a time.sleep in as well, of give or take 2 seconds. That might not be good. We'll see. It will adapt. So then print response, and we should just get a bunch of these. So check states like that, and we need to open a separate tab because we have the server running in one. So we'll run this here. So we'll call it let's see, weather. Probably just run it like that. Yeah. No, we don't want to do that. Okay. Just gotta type it out. Hawk.py. Alright, so what we can see here is that it's printing everything out, and it's all a bunch of jumbled crap, but that's because we haven't formatted it yet, but we will eventually. But yeah, so yeah, it's going for each one. You might say, well, why are you making it slow? And I like I said, you know, I'm afraid that if we just do this, you know, the requests don't take that long. You can see that it's like, you know, put like a print sleep or something. It's just sleeping for 2 seconds, but then you see that the actual, oh, I shouldn't be using that, okay. But you can see that the actual time it takes for it to fetch is very quick. So if we're doing 50 requests that quickly, we might get timed out from the server, like from the API here, because we're doing too many requests at once. Because usually they have some sort of preventative measures for DDoSing. I'm not saying I'm actually gonna, this is really doing anything, but they don't want that many requests per second. So this at least, it will add time. I mean, if you're gonna do it like that, I mean, if you have to do 52 second waits, that's 100 seconds. That's a little over a minute it takes to update each state, but it shouldn't be a big deal. And yeah, like I discussed earlier, we could just go through the ones that we have to do, but I don't know. I think it's good just to have them all on hand, so we'll do that. And yeah, it'll just check this over and over again. And we could even do a second timeout, like 1 second. Let's see. Try 1 second. Oh my gosh. Okay. I keep doing that. I don't need to do that. It's probably fine. So we've done that. So now we need to actually parse the data here. So let's for now just do a single example when we're working on this, debugging it. So we'll do an isolated instance of one particular state. We'll do one that has a lot of data so that it doesn't so that we can consider what a full data set looks like. So let's do Oklahoma because they had a lot going on. Okay. That, yeah, perfect. All right. So we're gonna have to look at it in the browser version just because that's easier to like. It's pretty print. Okay, we'll do that. I believe they have a Chrome extension actually. Chrome web extension. JSON. I spelled JSON wrong. JSON formatter, perfect. Exactly what I need. Okay, I don't know what I did. Oh, why is it blocked out like that? That's bullshit. All right, there we go. So we've added it, and that means that on refresh, this should look beautiful. Oh yeah, there you go. This is really helpful for when you're looking at JSON in a fetch request. At least for me, it is. I like it because I mean, you can't like deselect. Like, see this? I can isolate stuff. It's perfect. All right. So let's see, we have obviously, so all right, let's start from the beginning. So this is just metadata, so that doesn't matter. Features, title, current watches, warnings, and advisories for Oklahoma. Okay, and this was updated whenever. Okay, so let's start with what we have here. I'm trying to start from the basics and just work it up so that, because we're seeing it all and it's like open. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different things here. Let's see if there's 11 different alerts that correspond to it on the site. No, There's only these many, so I'm going to assume that these are for different areas. So let's just start by looking at one of them. So yeah, we have our polygon. This is the alert area that it mentioned. Properties, weather alert, affected zones. What does that look like? Oh, okay. That might not be a polygon. That might just be coordinates. Okay. So we'll take note of this for later. This could be useful for when we're trying to capture the affected area. Maybe instead of doing a polygon function, maybe we just compare distance between any of these points. Okay. Same code. Alright, I don't think we need to know that too much. Or geocode. That might be like the county or something. What's NWS? Same code. Weather rate. Hold on, let's try it. Let's see what this is. Oh. So I think what the same code is that it isolates alerts for your affected county. Okay. For the county that you're in. Okay. Well, that might be useful later. We'll think about that. Sender information, that's not necessary really. Affected zones we might look at later. Geocode. Alright, I'm just trying to. So, okay, event. So this is where we get the event. Okay. Sender name, headline, description, response, parameters. This does not. Okay. Radar indicated, wind gusts, hail threat. This is the good data that we need. Okay, about the information. Okay, so that's one of them. So that's that. What's this one? So it's the same format, obviously. References, that's not really needed. Okay. Thunderstorm watch. Okay. It's another alert. Okay. Let's open the third one. Okay, there's more counties. Okay. So these same codes are interesting. Alright. Thunderstorm watch again. Message type update. Okay. Status action. Okay, it's another one. Check this one here. Another watch. Alright, we're getting the gist here. Watch. Okay. So these are the alerts. Alright. That's what features represents here. So let's do features. Let's make that bigger. Okay. And let's just print 0, the 0th index. I think there's multiple different things within features. Oh my god, I keep doing that. I'm going crazy. Okay. This is 0. Okay. These are the objects. Perfect. Alright. So then let's see what a state looks like without any alerts, because we need a handle for an empty situation too. I think Alabama was empty. Yes. Okay. So if we get the length of these features here, that should return us the length of the number of things that were in it, obviously. So just a double check. 9 features. Let's go back to OK and see. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. All right. So then if we did Alabama, it should be 0. So double check. perfect. So we get 0. So we're gonna do num alerts, and we're gonna set that equal to length of response features, because I think every state should have this regardless, so it shouldn't be something that we would get an error for at any point in time. And then we'll say if num alerts greater than 0. You know, we don't even need to make a variable for this, honestly, because we're not going to reference this that many times. So, I mean, we can, but yeah, why not? That might be useful for another thing you'll see in a second. Why not? Okay. Then we'll do our processing. So that's good. We've covered, because we're trying to make sure that this doesn't glitch under any circumstances. So that was the first thing we had to check for. Next, what we want to do is, okay, we're going to iterate through all of these. So we're going to say for, I guess we'll call it alert entry in response feature. We would like to, I don't know, print something about it. So let's just start with something basic here. As such, we want to do alert entry, and let's pull together, what do we want? Let's pick something interesting. Let's do event. I think event's cool. Okay. This should print all the events in the list. No. Oh. Silly me. Didn't change it. Okay. Get so wrapped up in writing everything else you forgot to change it back. Okay. No? Well, I believe that this should print all of the entries. Yeah. So like one by one. Yeah, it should do each one. So okay, it goes the scope, so it starts in the properties and it goes within. Ah, I'm silly. Okay. So we'll call this, so we have to have properties event. That should get us the event. Double check. There we go. Got it. Okay. So we can get each of these individual elements here, and what we'll do is we'll make them into a structure. So what I'm thinking is we're going to take some of this data here, and I want to, so we want to make a dictionary for each state, and each state, so the dictionary should have we'll call it alerts, so it'll have an alerts dictionary. So it should have all the alerts stored inside. So or it'll just be a variable that stores, or no, well, it'll be an array. Okay, and so we'll make this an array like that, and what we'll do is we'll make an alert dictionary, and this will be let me think about this. You know what, this will go here at the start of the for loop each time, so it'll be here. So for context now, since I didn't really explain much, so this will store all the alerts for the state, and what we want it to do is, because the idea is I don't want to send a fetch request. Actually, well, we could, yeah, maybe I'm thinking about this too much, but what I was originally planning was we'll make a structure that stores all the states and the information if there's alerts or not, but maybe instead it's better just to send a no, because we need to recall if it's the same or not. Okay, so we'll store them. Okay, So in the alert struct, we'll have num alerts, and that's gonna be num alerts. Yeah, and then, gosh, it's 11 p.m. I'm losing my mind now. And this isn't bad, but getting tired. All right. So let's see here. So yeah, number of alerts, that'll be good. And then we're gonna have the alerts. And that's what this array is gonna be. Okay. And what I want to do, I'm trying to think. Maybe we don't need an array for the alerts, and we don't need to make a, because I'm thinking about the overarching dictionary for the state status. So if we go back to the iPad here, what do we want the state to have? We want the state, when we're looking at a particular state of I or whatever, what do we want the attributes to be? Well, I'm thinking we have num alerts. That might be useful. And then I'm deciding whether I want to encapsulate the alerts in a separate thing here, like variable, or do we just want to list them all out inside this thing? That might be useful. I don't know. Do we want the alerts in a separate thing or not? I think we should, just to keep it nice looking. Alright. Yeah. For now. I'm overthinking this still. Okay. So we get the properties here. So let's do this. Alright. So what is... okay. State. Wait, so then we don't need... Alright, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna make this state info, and we're gonna have num alerts, like I said earlier, and we're just gonna make this num alerts, and then we're going to do what was it? Okay. So now let's build the thing, the alert. So for each one, we're going to have a dictionary for the alert, and we want to have what? So let's pull out our important properties here that we said we wanted. Okay. Urgency and severity. Seems like very similar things for the same thing. Immediate and extreme. I think urgency is a good term to use instead of, because I would have picked between the two. I'll pick urgency. Okay. So let's effective at this timestamp here. Could we convert that possibly? I'd like to convert that to something readable here. Or nah. Hold on, let's read what else we have here. AWhips. I don't need those parameters. Okay. Response shelter instructions. Status. Alright. we'll say effective. So I'm just pulling what we want. So okay. You want the expiration. Expires. What else do we want? We want urgency. Whoa, I'm using Command V. That's not what I want. Okay. Urgency. Want the event, obviously. Just copy that. Whoops. And then, yeah, we could put the sender name. Sure. Properties. Sender name. Then we also want, okay, then we'll get to the contents. Headline. What is the big deal of what's going on? Alright. Headline of the situation, and then description. I don't feel like writing the whole word out. Okay. I guess I have to. Okay. Instruction. And what else do we want? Right. I don't think we need that part. Response. I mean, that's pretty. So we have that information. Now I want to go back to talking about the areas affected here, because like we said, they had the polygon system here, but I'm kind of a little more interested in, where was it? Affected zones. Here. Let's see. Oh, it's also polygon. All right, whatever. Yeah. Never mind. Alright, so where's the polygon here? Coordinates. But it's not as many. That's just for the one area, for the one alert. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll get polygon alert entry. This is outside of properties, and this is geometry. Okay, so we're going to go back out and enter a different scope of the JSON data, and we're going to say coordinates. And I think this should just do all of them. Like such. Okay, cool. Alright, I think that's it for what we want. So we have that. I'd like to print it now and make sure it looks fancy, at least. Alright. Oh yeah, and then when it's done getting all the information, we need to append it to the alerts. And then what we'll do is we have this now, and that gets appended to state. Oh, we also need the state name. Alright. State. And we'll call it, I guess, do we have the are we in the function? Check states. I guess it would just be a state, but for now we'll just call it okay. Yeah, because we're not in the scope of the rest of it. Okay, dot append. Did I say it wrong? State status. Dot append state info. There we go. So we should be able to print state status. We should get something out of that. Hopefully, I think. No, it's not subscriptable, huh? It's in the particular feature here. Features, geometry, coordinates. Is it object 1? Is it index instead? Is it not coordinates? That might be it. No. Okay. Alright, let's try. Let's clear this out here. Let's just do this. Alright. Let's print the geometry. Did I no, I didn't spell it wrong. Oh, yes. I think I might log off soon. I think I've hit my mental capacity for the day. I do a lot of running, and so, yeah, I'm pretty tired now. Oh, some of them don't have any. That's correct. There is nothing in some of them. So if I did coordinates, okay. I think we should still be able to do coordinates. It's just that it didn't work for the ones that didn't have any. It may not even have been a field. Okay. Beautiful. None type is non-subscript. Okay, so alright, I guess that's not really preferable, so we'll say. Oh, because it's still going to check. Okay. So, because when it's not, so, whoops, it's still, this conditional check is not going to help us because even when it's still going, it's still, yeah, so it's still going to check for this field. So let's take a look at some of the ones here. So this was after how many? 1, 2, I think the third one maybe. Geometry's null. Okay, there you go. So if alert geometry does not equal null. Nope, in Python I believe it is, no, it is literally like that? No? What does null in Python look like? Is that not it? Oh my god, I feel so silly for this, but you know, we can just say none. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I guess I don't know what null is in Python. It doesn't matter though, it works. Because you can still check none. So I think there's 2 ways, yeah. Alright. So we've sorted that issue out. So let's do this. Geo or chords. Let's fix this up here. Uncomment, please. What do you mean? No. Ah, yes. Indented one too many. Alright. Okay, please work now. Okay. Number of alerts, 12. Did it really expand to 12 now? Okay, just double checking. Double check. Let's get some water. How long has this video been going for? Hour and 35 minutes. Huh. I don't know how YouTube expects me to upload this on my phone for more than 15 minutes. Especially an hour and 35 on my phone. I don't know how it's going to fit. That's what it says to do. I might just upload this tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, anyway, let's see, where did we leave off here? So yeah, this is the state. Where's the part where it shows that, okay, state Oklahoma. So I'm silly. I should probably have that higher up. Yes, we're gonna do that higher up. That should be like the first thing we see. Okay, clear, perfect. So, this should return here. So now we have to generalize this for all of them. So what we're gonna do is, now the other thing I'm just thinking of now is we need to remove alerts that have expired. So what this entails is we need to convert the time somehow. So this is our global, or I guess it's not a global variable entirely, but we need to have a function that goes through these and removes stuff that we don't need, that is expired. So I'm going to import date time for processing as dt. That's not how you do it. Yeah, okay. But here, let's first get to the part where we actually because this file is going to be running, you know, the whole time. So we need to have stuff so that checks and adds and removes everything. So what I'm thinking now is I might get off soon, but let's first integrate this for every state. So okay, where were we here? Yes. So if I just do that and that, then we have to indent everything because it's going to gripe about that for sure, like so much so. I know there's a macro for this, I don't remember it though. So I'm just going to do it the hard way like this. I will look into it later though, and whatever it was, I will do it. Wait a minute. Nope, that's beyond the scope. We want... No, it's okay. I think. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, let's check. I'm really tired now, so I'm going to get off soon. Alright. Yeah, we want this to all happen if it's within the thing. So this is for adding entries. So we should rename this to set state or add alerts. You know what I just realized? It doesn't, we don't have to worry about removing them because this will just create a whole new thing. So the ones that go away, and the ones that stay, obviously. So we actually don't need to worry about getting rid of anything. It will just do it on its own by just appending the whole new thing. So I'm being silly. I think I have lost logic and reasoning at this hour. Okay, so let's return. We don't really need to return anything. It's just updating something, so that's fine. Okay. check states, print for state and state status. I just want to see print state state. We'll just we'll just print that. So let's see how long this takes. Oh, by the way, we had removed previously the sleep, so I'd like to add that back here. We will do 1 second for now. So this is going through all of the states checking. Oh, let's take a stretch break. Crack. So this will get us through all 50 of them, and then actually it included random territories too. I'm worried that it's gonna break because it may not support those, but that's an easy fix, but that might derail this for a bit. In the meantime though, we have a lot of data, and it's just going to spew it all out in a second. Let it do its thing. Oh yeah. Did you even do the territories? I don't know. Ooh. I made a major mistake just now, guys. You're not gonna believe it. I left Oklahoma. I was like, no wonder it worked. Okay. Sorry that we just wasted we just wasted about 50 seconds there. About a minute. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. Wow. I am really like tired, I guess. The fact that I'm doing that. Okay. Let's try it again. The NWS is going to be like, why is this man sending all these requests, you know? La-di-da. Load. I don't know if getting rid of the 1 second thing would, you know, change much, but I firmly believe there will be a form of error from the server saying that we are spamming them too much. And let's see if it glitches on the other shit. Okay. And I neglected to, I just realized, change this as well to be the string of the state in which it resides in. Yep, and I did it again. I think it actually logged some of the state, the territories. It looks like it did. Yeah, I know I didn't change that. Spokane, Washington. NW WS Baltimore. Ooh. Hold on. Okay. Where was VA Vermont? Alright. I'm gonna run this one more time, and I just want to see all the states, just to make sure I went through all of them. Yeah, and I'm gonna do that. Nope. You know what? We're not going to. Alright. But yeah, that should be it for that part. So what this means is now we've made the thing that will store all the current alerts for the states. So I don't want to do this tonight just because it's pretty late. I'm tired, but the plan going forward would be to then devise a system to send these out for people in those areas, and then what we want to do is make sure that they're not getting those alerts again. So like it distinguishes whether or not that alert should remain. So we have to use the date time to check the expiration, or the time frame if it's so like what I mean is if it's already been seen before and it's within the time frame in which it was issued, then it shouldn't send it again. Because then the person just gets it over and over again, like, oh yeah, alert, 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 like, yeah. So, all right, well, I'm pretty timed out, so I think I'm gonna end it here. We didn't really do too much. I mean, I just made the home page here and then kind of spent the rest of the time working on this. It really doesn't take too long to do this, but I don't know, taking whatever time I take. But yeah, that should be it. Hopefully some of y'all found this useful, if any of you guys were watching this, and maybe you took something away from this. Feel free to work on it too, if you take inspiration from it, or do it however you want. The plan at the end of this obviously is to demo it, and then I post it on GitHub, so if you guys want to look at it later. So yeah, now I'm gonna go try and see if I can get this video uploaded right now, and if not, try and do it the day after. We'll see. Alright, that's it from Jonah's Lab. I'll see you guys. Peace.